Hi, my name's Tom. If you work on cars, houses, anything, anywhere, and you ever find yourself having a hard time finding anything, then you need this tool. This is an electronic HD endoscope that actually works with your phone. Let me show you what you get and how it works. It's really pretty cool. So first off, small box, I'm going to open it up. First thing you get here, you actually get the full scope. You can see how long it is. It actually has a fair bit of cord there. We'll go ahead and stretch it out in a moment. This is your camera end. There is a light on it. It actually has two cameras, one straight out and then one to the side, so that when you're looking for things, you can control which way you want to look. On the other side, there are two ports. One is a USB-C port and one is a Lightning port for iPhones. The way this works is if you have an Android phone or tablet, you can use the USB-C. If you have an iPhone, you can use the Lightning port. The newer iPhones actually come with USB-C, so one way or the other, you're covered. You also get a little set of accessories. There's a hook in here, there's a mirror in here, just for kind of optional viewing. The hook helps you grab stuff that you may have dropped down there. It all fits onto the end of the endoscope. To use your endoscope with your smartphone, you will need to follow the instructions, because in the instructions there is a QR code, and that QR code will allow you to go ahead and download a special app. It's a free app. So the way this works is you take your phone and you aim your camera at the QR code. Your phone will go ahead and pop a little link. You click on the link, go to a web page. Web page takes you to the App Store, and then from the App Store, you go ahead and you download the app. Once you get the app installed, you'll have to go ahead and give your app access to the camera on your phone. So just follow those steps. But then you just kind of pull it up just like that. Here it is. I'm going to show you how easy this thing is. Here's my endoscope. I haven't done anything with it. I just installed this app a few minutes ago. I'm going to go ahead and plug this thing in. I give it the Lightning. This is an older phone. This is an iPhone 8. Oops, I turned it off. There we go. Ta-da! I'm now connected. You can see as I move my camera around, there's a little light on the end here. You can see the lights, a whole bunch of little LEDs. As I move it around, I see me, and I have right now the picture's upside down, but let's talk all about the app and the cool things you can do. So here's the app in landscape mode, and right off the bat, you can actually go ahead and flip the picture around. The little button on the left that kind of just flips it up, down, left, right, depending upon how you want to see things, because it is kind of a round camera. You can turn things black and white or color. That makes it easier to see sometimes. If you tap the screen, you'll take a picture, and then you can click the little box there with the two lines, and it allows you to compare one picture to another. So you can take a picture, and if you're watching for change or if you're moving around looking for something else, it's kind of clever. It's a good diagnostic tool to be able to compare to what just was and what wasn't. You can also go ahead and do photo and video, and you can actually zoom in. There's a little zoom button there for 1.5, and 2 times. You can zoom in and out. And then if you take photos or video, they're actually saved in the little album. So let me go ahead and show you how this will work on a car. So again, this thing is nice and long. There is some flexibility, some sturdiness to the cord, so I can actually go ahead and bend it in a way, and I can leave it go, and it'll keep that shape, as you can see. So that way I can kind of get it into a hose, and then I can push it down into the pipe, and it does have some oomph to it. I have some stick to it, so I can push it down, and it'll go through the pipe, and it will bend around corners. It'll bend through things. It's also waterproof. We'll talk about that in a second. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to plug this thing into my phone. I'm going to go ahead and run it down into my engine, just kind of give you an idea of what it looks like as I'm using this, just to kind of look around. Okay, so I have it plugged into my phone, and again, the nice part is there has a light on the end. Right now it's on the brightest setting, and right by the phone I have a little control. I can turn the light all the way off, or I can turn the light on nice and bright. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and flip this so it's kind of landscape view. I'm going to look around, and I'm going to push this into my engine, and I want you to see, look at how bright that is. Look at how much I can see here. I'm going to just kind of keep going down, and let me see. Oh, there we go. See a little rust spot. I'm going to keep going down, and I can kind of look around. Now, I am way down in there. I'm actually down there much further than my hand could ever possibly reach. But I can now see, there's a spot of rust there. I can move around. You get the idea. Okay, now remember I said there were actually 2 cameras in this? And there are. And right now, I'm just kind of showing the front-facing camera. It's looking at me. There we go. Front-facing camera is actually right here. So what I can do as well is on the little control dongle, which is right next to the phone, that also controls the brightness of the light, up and down. But there's also a button on it that I can go ahead and press that button, hold it down for a second, and what happens is, here we go. Let me turn it around. I now no longer have the light at the top. I now have the light at the side. It's pointing through the side camera now. So now this is the side camera. So if I'm going into a pipe, I can look straight forward by pressing down the button and switching to that. There we go, front camera, I'm looking down the pipe, and then I say, aha, there's a spot in the pipe, but I can't get my end angle up, or I want to see a little closer. I switch, I hold the button down, and there we go. Now I'm looking at the side camera, and now I can see the edges of the pipe. This thing's also great for looking into air ducts. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip the camera so you can go ahead and watch it going in, and I'm going to record what I see as I go down through this air duct. I recorded this first part in landscape mode, but you can see me kind of going into the vent. I found a screw in the duct there, and I just got to kind of manipulate over it. It takes a little bit of art form to kind of move around. Here I am a little further into the vent, and I found a pile of dust. And then you'll see what I actually found. I was like, gee, what is that? Let me make sure here. I took a picture, and I kind of went back and forth a little bit. Yep, there's a old cigarette in my duct. My house was built about 30 years ago, so that cigarette's probably been sitting there since the guy who built the HVAC went ahead and threw a butt in there. And remember that I said this thing was waterproof? It is. I'm going to go ahead and put it into a drainage drain now, where there should be a trap of water in there. I'm going to try to push into the water and kind of see what I can see. Here's me waving as I then move the camera right down into the drain of my sink, all the way down. There's a pile of water down there. It is a little gross. It is a probably 15, 20-year-old sink. Here we go, and I'm going to kind of go into the water, and it gets a little fuzzy at first because I bump into some stuff, but I just keep going. There I am, actually underwater. The camera is underwater, and you can see, here we go, I'm at the bottom of the trap, and there's some sediment and things floating around, but the camera itself is underwater. And so there you go. It is a really cool tool. It does, by the way, come with two little Velcro straps for kind of keeping the cords all strapped together. It's small, it's handy. I keep it with my tools now. I don't need any extra batteries or anything. This thing does use your phone battery to go ahead and power itself. Now, I was given this in exchange for an honest review, and I gotta say, I was really impressed. I wasn't sure what to expect. I wasn't sure if I was really gonna need it or not. But really, this is definitely worth it. This is something you wanna get anybody who works on cars, homes, plumbing, ducts, anything where they need to see stuff where they can't see. I have used this about 3 times in the past week. I actually found a small leak in my shower pan because I have a grate that I can look behind the shower. I used this and found it. I've actually found things underneath the couch even. I just plugged it in and shoved it underneath the couch and went looking around, and I found some cat toys that my cats had lost. So this really is a really, really cool tool. A couple caveats. It is about the size of a pen. So it's about as thick as a small ballpoint pen maybe. So there are some spots that it's not going to go. For a drain, you may have to pull out the drain stopper to be able to fit it down there. But once you're in, you're fine. It is flexible again. It does tie. It does keep its shape like that. But if you have a long straight line and then you have some sharp curves, you may have a hard time kind of working it through all those curves. There's a little bit of a finesse to it, an art form to it to some extent. But I've actually had some pretty good luck with kind of just pushing and sliding it through pipes and things, just kind of for fun. I haven't done any real strong plumbing with it yet. Overall, I just kind of love this tool. Here, by the way, is the little control fob that you use. It's all on the cord for changing the brightness of the light. It's a little dial. And then this little button right here will actually switch it between the front camera and the side camera there. It's just one button press. It's really easy to use. There are instructions. Overall, it's a great tool. It's really, really handy. I highly recommend you get one of these things.